Good morning, the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, July 27th. Looking at fire impacts, we have quite a few with gusty winds, low humidity, southern Arizona, southern Utah, and the Arizona Strip both today and tomorrow. Our focus also shifts to the north, a stronger front approaching, and they'll have wind gusts of 35 miles per hour, parts of Idaho into western Wyoming. Now, the fuels in the higher terrain are quite moist, or at least fairly moist still in some areas, especially Wyoming and eastern Idaho. Humidity will be a little bit above 20%, a little higher than we normally would be concerned about, but these are areas that already have existing fires and have had quite a plethora of lightning over the past 4 or 5 days. So we do have different types of concerns up there in southern Idaho, at least in the Snake River Plain, elevations below 4,000 feet. Looking at precipitation, a little swath across our northern areas. You can see right on the right-hand side the lightning over southwest Idaho and the Oahe Mountains, and also another little swath across northwest Utah into parts of eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. So those are the areas that will see the winds as we go through the next couple of days. And you can see some starts here, new starts in the red, larger fires in the larger red circles in southwest Idaho, parts of eastern Idaho, and even into the mountains of central Idaho, especially the western part where things have dried out. Existing or recent fires in the yellow, so you can see that outer periphery, that activity is picking up. Precipitation, it has been dry the past 2 weeks. Either no precipitation or the slightest shade, just being a few hundredths of an inch less than the wetting rain. On the right-hand side, you can see that this is significantly below normal. This darkest red brick color, 0 to 5% of normal for a good chunk of Nevada, the Arizona Strip, a good chunk of Utah, other than a little isolated spot in the southeast. And that's mainly due to the delay of the monsoon. In terms of short-term drought, the evaporative drought index shows that we are in some lower stages of drought, soil moisture dryness across southern Utah and parts of adjacent Nevada. Our ERCs steadily climbing up and increasing, seeing very few in the green here, lots of yellow in the north, 50th, 60th to 70th percentile, 80th to 90th percentile in some of these reddish and dark red circles, now covering an increasing part of Utah and parts of southern Nevada. 10-hour fuels, which are representative of our grasses, very dry, 3 to 4% in the red, 1 to 2% as dry as it gets over pockets of central and southern Nevada and southwest Utah and the Arizona Strip. A look at 100-hour fuels up north where they had lightning in the eastern Snake River Plain near mid-July normal. So that's pretty significant, even though they've moistened up a little bit in some areas. They'll be drying out with the breezes. Southwest Utah, well below normal and just above record dry levels. Similar story for southern Nevada, sitting just off of record dry levels on the 100-hour fuels. What's been saving us so far is the live fuel moisture here in southern Idaho, still sitting at 150, above normal. Normal is the green line, and normally you'd see fire activity picking up when the sagebrush moisture drops down to below 125 or so. Still just below 150 here across northwest Utah. Parts of north central Nevada have dried out considerably. The sagebrush fuel moisture here about 115, 120. That's where the sagebrush is more readily part of the fire environment when something is burning through the grasses and light brush. Satellite imagery shows some gathering monsoonal moisture here across Mexico, still bone dry across most of Arizona, and it'll stay that way. We have a good jet stream coming through here through the Pacific Northwest into the Great Basin, increasing the winds in northern areas, although there might be some clouds there. Still some moderate winds with the base of this trough and the dry air, central and southern Utah, Nevada, and the Arizona Strip. So for today, you can see where that dry air punches in across southern areas of the Great Basin, a little bit more humid to the north. And here is, on the right-hand side, our high risk for wind across our southern areas, excluding the higher terrain of southern Utah, which elevations above 7,000 to 8,000 feet, still not quite critically dry. But in all these areas, wind gusts of 25 or 30 miles per hour and very low humidity, single digits to low teens here in the south. You can see these winds in the orange gusting in the 20s, and these pinks gusts in the low to mid 30 mile per hour range. Now for Thursday, Notice the tight height packing of these lines coming into the Pacific Northwest and pushing into Idaho. So we have high risk for winds up in the Snake River Plain as well as similar areas here in the south. You can see these winds, again, quite strong across a good chunk of southern Nevada, southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, and especially across central and eastern portions of the Snake River Plain. The orange to purples indicate wind gusts in the upper 20s to mid 30s. Humidity single digits to low teens in the south, but higher in the Snake River Plain, a low to mid 20% range. Of course, these are areas that have received recent lightning, and Friday we're still concerned about winds up here. Warm and dry, but diminishing winds in the south. You can see the winds here on the left and the humidity on the right-hand side. 3-day precipitation totals, not much at all. Precipitation exiting, the deeper part of the monsoon still remaining in Mexico. Then further down the road on Saturday, dry air coming in. This high pressure area trying to organize into a four corners high, but still dry, still hot across the area. You can see the 7-day dryness levels on the right. And as we go into Sunday, start to see little blips of subtropical moisture and little blips peeling off from the main monsoon, which is still in Mexico. But it is on Monday that some moisture forms around this four corners high and pushes into Nevada, into far western Utah. So we'll have to watch the outer periphery, the edges of this moisture, both on the north, east, and west side. For lightning that won't have much rain, where the deepest dark green colors are is probably where the rain will have its most significant impact on the fuels. But otherwise, it's been warm and dry for the last few days. On the right-hand side, you see that the Pacific Northwest has high risk for their portion of adjacent southern Oregon. We'll have to reevaluate where we might position high risk if this lightning scenario continues to unfold. For Monday and Tuesday next week, you can see much more broader moisture, maybe a transition to wetting rains in some spots. We'll have to see on this. 7-day precipitation totals, not that much, just a few hundredths of an inch, maybe a few pockets of a tenth of an inch or so here in the darker green, but deeper moisture, quarter to half inch in some of the higher terrain of Utah as some of that moisture deepens. But the really torrential monsoonal rains remain in Mexico and far southern Arizona. The 8 to 14-day outlook shows above normal temperatures here on the left. This is July 24th to the 30th. Does show an increasing monsoonal push with above normal moisture chances across a good portion of the Great Basin. So more lightning and some initial attack on the outer periphery, but perhaps some moistening areas further to the south and east. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.